Welcome to the Matt O'Grady Coaching Podcast. This is where Matt shares all his ideas on how to be happier, more successful, and enjoy life to the fullest. Please go to mattogradycoaching.com and theliving.gratitudebook.com to learn more and receive your free micro-coaching session with Matt.
Hello and welcome to the Matt O'Grady Coaching Podcast, mattogradycoaching.com. Well, today we're going to be talking about persistence. So recently, one of the reasons I haven't been recording podcasts is because I've got two of the people that I'm closest to in my life dealing with health issues and serious ones. And as I've been going through this, it's a day-to-day of doctors, nurses, support teams, medical people, all sorts of things, many appointments every week, many up, down, all around kind of situations during basically emergency level medical situations. And as I manage that, helping as much as I can for the people that I love, while also taking care of my son, because my wife is one of those people who's dealing with a medical situation, and my dad is the other, and still running two businesses, launching a third. It has taught me a lot these last couple months. And I'll be talking about a lot of those lessons that I've deepened or learned for the first time. Some really beautiful ones in the area of compassion and patience and the depth of love that can come through. But today I'm most inspired to talk about persistence because it is behind all those other lessons. The willingness to wake up every day and give everything you have to those you love and give everything you have to your greatest passions, having to rely on others in ways you haven't had to before, and just seeing that even when you're under such duress, under such heavy, stressful situations every day, you can still move things forward. You can still grow. You can still have beautiful moments. You can still be successful. You can have a ton of love, as I have been blessed with throughout this experience. It's not the type of thing we would ever choose, right? We never choose really hard, painful things to experience. We just don't. It's understandable. You know, most innately as human beings, we avoid pain and seek pleasure, seek comfort, seek ease, right? We run away from pain and tough, hard things, but life brings them to us no matter what. Sometimes we get them spread out. Sometimes we get really big situations we have to deal with in a short period of time, weeks or months. Sometimes we get tragic, in the moment, shocking things that happen to us. But all through it, regardless of how the tough things come, if you learn how to become deeply persistent, have a powerful mindset of perseverance. And I used to talk about this a lot when I was first starting my businesses, over a decade ago, the digital marketing business and the coaching business, because that's what it needed so much at the time to just get over the hump of launching something brand new. But throughout the years, it hasn't felt like I needed to be that persistent because things were flowing, things were growing, everything was profitable, everything was doing well. And even though both businesses are doing better than ever before from a profit and loss situation and list building and brand building and all those things, because of the personal situations I've been dealing with, I've had to dig down super deep within to continue to move my life forward on every level, regardless of the circumstances that I see myself in and the people that I love that are going through what they're going through. So I'm going to talk about some persistence quotes, and I'm going to share them with you and then give some commentary, because I really believe this is an area of our lives. If we can deepen this, strengthen in our persistence within, there's nothing you can't do. I'm going to start with Maya Angelou. You may encounter many defeats, but you must not be defeated. In fact, it may be necessary to encounter the defeats so you can know who you are, what you can rise from, how you can still come out of it. So true. Wow. That's a really beautiful quote. And it's the truth, because as we go through the tough things, that's how we find out who we really are. And it's fascinating to me. You just watch the layers of whatever's surfacey and ego just get burnt away in the fire of struggle and stress, worry. But if there's this consciousness, this persistent strength that emerges, that we tap into, that we choose to live by, I'm going to get up every day and do my best for myself and all those I love most. And really dedicate yourself to things. The things that I used to have time to do, I didn't see it as such a loungy life, but, because I'm used to working 10, 12 hours a day and, running errands and taking care of the house for another couple hours, few hours every day, parenting. And, but no, I've found new levels of how to manage an 18-hour day, just nonstop working and supporting and helping. And it really allows you to see things about yourself you just don't get to see when you're having more of a responsible day that's more in the 10, 12 hour range, even 14. Once you get to that 18, 20 hours a day, getting so much less sleep, and then just literally being busy managing things. I mean, I one of the things I didn't miss, not once during this whole crazy experience, has been meditation. Meditation has been the rock that I've leaned on throughout this. The two things. I come back to my gratitude practice every day, come back to my self-awareness and meditation practice every day. Those are the things that have allowed me to stay persistent, connected. I mean, I still talk to my teams every day, talk to my clients, not every day, but several days a week. And I'm right there in the daily mix of helping out my wife and my father and my mother and my son, kind of take care of things while we have two patients. And having them simultaneously has been the big thing, because my dad's been in this situation for some time. And my wife's situation is newer, but is a bit dire. And so going through this simultaneously is really what's brought it out, kind of forced me into this. As Maya says here, encounter many defeats, but you must not be defeated. So just day after day getting, not good news, and being willing to still think positively, still keep my faith, still be persistent in my belief that this too shall pass and good things are on the way, and even finding thousands of good things along the way, even during the toughest days. Sometimes it's just a look or a moment of love or connection or kindness or compassion. Yeah, life is really amazing when we step back from it, really look at it with conscious eyes, without judging, and just looking for the best in all of it. So this is from Calvin Coolidge. I like this quote too. Nothing in the world can take the place of persistence. Talent will not. Nothing is more common than unsuccessful men with talent. Genius will not. Unrewarded genius is almost a proverb. Education will not. The world is full of educated derelicts. Persistence and determination alone are omnipotent. The slogan, "Press on," has solved and always will solve the problems of the human race. And I love this because it's just the truth, right? We all know people with the best talent, best education, that genius, people who are super smart, but their lives may not turn out anywhere near the way that they would have liked. But other people who are not as talented, not as educated, certainly are not a genius, but are persistent, end up happier, successful, because there's something magical in persistence. There's something near otherworldly in persistence. It taps us into a power that you only get from coming at something every day, as often as you can, with an open heart and a belief and a faith in that if you come to it with all that you are, just the very best you can bring, that it will help you move mountains. And it does. It does. Here's one from Og Mandino. I will persist until I succeed. Always will I take another step. If that is of no avail, I will take another and yet another. In truth, one step at a time is not too difficult. I know that small attempts repeated will complete any undertaking. I love this one. You guys know I talk about this all the time. The law of compounding, right? These steps, it ties right in with persistence. I talk about the law of compounding all the time. In self-development and self-awareness and a spiritual practice, in entrepreneurship, in learning how to manage projects to the end. It's not just the big idea of the project and the enthusiasm and the goal at the end. Sure, those are important, but what gets you there? What gets you there are these small steps repeated that will complete any undertaking. And if we're dealing with something really hard, personally, emotionally, with our relationships with the people we care about most, I won't speak for you, but that's the worst thing that there is for me. If it was just me, if it was my body, my mind, my life that I was dealing with, I don't know, it would be much different for me. But when it's people I love the most, you feel like you can't change it for them. You can help, you can be there, you can be present, you can be kind, compassionate, loving. There's a lot you can do, but you can't flip the switch for them. It's their bodies, it's their lives. There's only so much we can do. So by taking the steps that we can and repeating them day after day, hour after hour, month after month in some cases, year after year in other cases, there's something really amazing and beautiful that becomes born. Yes. John Quincy Adams, talking about what I was just referring to. Courage and perseverance have a magical talisman, before which difficulties disappear and obstacles vanish into air. Yes, that is the truth, right? It's just, it's magical. It really is. There's something truly beautiful in perseverance, in persistence. It's not always comfortable. That's why most people don't do it. It's not easy to wake up every day and run, or wake up every day and meditate, or do yoga, or work out, or write, or work on our passions before we start our work day, or do whatever it is that great, successful people do to move their lives forward in the direction of their dreams. But it doesn't matter that it's not easy. If you do it every day, even just for a few minutes a day, that's why I talk about the 2-minute miracle of practice, of daily practice on anything. If you do it every day, every night, 2 minutes each, once in the morning and once at night, that will move forward significantly in your life. It may take some weeks and months to get it going, but if you do that alone, 4 minutes a day, it will change your life forever. Robert Collier there says it very succinctly. Success is the sum of small efforts, repeated day in and day out. It's just the truth. That's it. Billie Jean King says, champions keep playing until they get it right. Yeah. Martin Luther King. If you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But do whatever you have to do to keep moving forward. Isn't that the truth? Yeah. Even if you can't walk, then crawl. Such a great man who did so many great things for so many people. And that's it. When we can't walk, we crawl. Just keep that fire going inside us to just take one more step or one more crawl. Henry Wadsworth Longfellow says, perseverance is a great element of success. If you only knock long enough and loud enough at the gate, you are sure to wake up somebody. I like that. That's good. Here's a super famous one from Winston Churchill. If you are going through hell, keep going. Which speaks to the same idea, right? To just keep going. Napoleon Hill says, patience, persistence, and perspiration make an unbeatable combination for success. It's just so important, this idea of persistence, committing. There's a commitment. There's a dedication. I call it compassionate self-discipline. You don't want to go too hard on yourself, because then you beat yourself up and you don't have the energy to move forward and you feel terrible, right? So you have to have this balance between the persistence and the self-kindness, the self-love, the self-nurturing. You've got to balance it, but the persistence can be in being self-loving, being kind to yourself. It doesn't have to be one or the other. It's not just being hardcore all the time, right? Persistence can still be gentle, can be loving. So much to this. And just when you think you can't become any more persistent or strengthen your perseverance, you can. And the deeper it becomes, the more powerful it becomes, the bigger it becomes. It starts to move more mountains over time. So I'm going to leave you with this Buddha quote because I think it really sets the tone for what this is all about and just how it works in this world. in the confrontation between the stream and the rock, the stream always wins, not through strength, but through persistence. Meditate on that. Very beautiful. Thank you for listening. MattO'GradyCoaching.com